Hi, everybody. Welcome to the third Weird City Meetup. This is March edition. Today, we're going to be talking about marketing your directory. Like I said before, hopefully this will turn more into a conversation rather than me telling you what I have learned. Hopefully, we can exchange knowledge and ideas. With that being said, I have prepared an agenda. Even though this is the plan.
Hey,
girl.
She's always around.
Oh yeah. So this is what I think we will probably be spending on each topic. But with that being said, we might spend a little bit more, a little bit less on each topic depending on engagement and what you guys think is interesting and important. All right, so this is what I think is the importance of marketing your directory. There are people that say, oh, if you build it, people will come. In my honest opinion, that's not true. If you build it, people will not come if they don't know it exists. Therefore, marketing your directory allows you to acquire new customers, raise awareness of your brand. At the end of the day, you want to build a brand around your directory. You want people to know your logo wherever they see it and associate it with your site, with your platform. You want to grow revenue. At the end of the day, we're all in this for the money. I don't think any of us is here to lose money and to waste our time. Am I right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, that's what I thought. We want to make it easier for users to adopt our platform. If users don't adopt our platform, unfortunately, we are not going to grow. And if we don't grow, at some point, you're going to lose interest and get rid of the project. That's just human nature. We get shiny object syndrome. If our site is not producing, we will move on onto the next project at some point. Also, we want to improve online visibility. We want to make it easier for people to see the value in listing in our sites. At the end of the day, if people listing our sites, that increase the amount of users. When you increase the amount of users, increase the amount of money that you make. It's just a cycle. Some of the ways that we're going to be discussing today on how to market your directory, I will be talking about paid advertisement, social media marketing, email marketing, SEO, and lastly, we will be talking about word of mouth marketing, which I believe is probably one of the best ways if you are able to get it right. Paid advertisement. So as the name implies, paid advertisement is advertisement that you pay for. You can either pay cost per click, cost per miles, per every 1,000 impressions, or you can pay cost per acquisition, so per lead acquired through the advertising model. There are different platforms that you can be doing your paid advertisement. Most people go with Google Ads. Most of the time, they're running campaigns in which you can get up to $150,000 of free advertisement if you spend like $50 or $100. What most people say is that you sign up, wait a couple of weeks, and they come up with, they send you an email with the offer. You got Bing Ads, Taboola, and Outbrain. This is more for those of you that are doing blog posts. Those are the ads that you see at the bottom of CNN, Yahoo Finance, and those big sites. For those of you that are running e-commerce businesses, Amazon e-commerce platform, if you're listing on Amazon, is a great opportunity for you. If you're in social media, probably Facebook ads and Instagram
feels ads. Beyond any of the girls in the room, but she sometimes.
All right, cool. Facebook ad and Instagram ads are probably the most popular ones, but if you're into video, then YouTube ads can be a great resource, Pinterest ads and Snapchat ads. Now, with that being said, everybody talk about online advertisement, and don't get me wrong, online advertisement can give you great results, but while everybody's focusing on online advertisement, there are other methods that you can be advertising offline that might be equally or or even better methods than online advertisement. So people still drive to work. People still go to buy their groceries. People still have to go out to do the routinarily things in life that they do even in COVID times. People still watch TV, listen to the radio, pick up the mail. People still watch their newspaper, magazines. Um, while depending on your country, that will determine which methods apply to you and which methods are better for you. Here's some ideas that you might want to look at in order to advertise offline. Radio ads, TV ads, relevant newspaper magazine ads. A few days ago, I was reading about a company in Atlanta, Georgia, here in the United States, where all they do is advertise in a magazine that is gets sent out to high-income residences in Atlanta about concrete and patios. Um, that's all. That's the only way they advertise, and it's working for them. They just found the right magazine that goes to the right target market, and they advertise there. They spend a lot of money there, but they are making a lot of money out of it. Then you got billboard ads, those big billboards that you see along the highway. You got the direct mail marketing, those postcards that companies sometimes send you on the mail, signs and billboards. So when you go to sporting events, you see those billboards for sponsors. And that might be a good opportunity for you if your target audience goes to those places. Sponsorships, flyers, events, and trade shows, cold calling, freebies, stunts. Um, One of the biggest stunts was done by T-Mobile. They basically mobilized a bunch of people to a train station, and they started playing music there. And people, of course, wanted to see what was going on, and they were stopping and they were giving out free um, promotional items. And that was one of the biggest ways that, one of the biggest events for that year for T-Mobile. Honestly, you have to think outside the box sometimes. Doing the same things might give you good results, but it also might not. Um, Sometimes trying new things might give you different results, sometimes better, sometimes worse. With that being said, what other ideas do you guys have for paid advertisement? What have you done in the past, or what have you considered doing?
I found that the traditional platforms you're talking about, like Google Ads, I'm sort of a semi-startup. I've been generating revenue now for about 18 months, and Google Ads, Facebook, Instagram, those are relatively ineffective to generating. They'll generate traffic, but the return on investment is relatively low.
Now, something that you have to keep in mind is you have to get good at targeting. You cannot just
Oh yeah. I mean, Facebook, for example, enables you to get granular targeting of your audience, both in terms of geographic targeting as well as demographic targeting. So I mean that they give you a lot of targeting tools. Our target market for Cedar Creek Lake Online is very hyper focused around a geography, and we're going after a recreational demo. So, Facebook gives us a very specific target market demographic and geography, but and our objective is to drive traffic to our website. We're a directory service, of course, and so we're trying to drive traffic on behalf of our advertisers, our paid advertisers. Um, but in terms of generating revenue, that's really not the goal.
For my part, I don't know if you hear me correctly, but I haven't done a lot of like paid advertising yet. I've tried, and I think it's, as you said, Jesus, it's try and then you try something else, other keywords. But I know one of my clients is doing paid advertising and is putting thousands of dollars. So I think even the more money we put into it, the more it can work a lot. It can really, especially Instagram ads is really working these days, as well as putting the type of advertising we're doing, if it's only photos or videos. And I know videos are really popular in Instagram, like short videos of how to. There's an app called promo.com, and then you can do a promo video, which is 1 minute, and you pay $100 per month, and you can have a lot of short videos like this. And I know one of my clients is using that and is generating a lot of clients. So I'm not using paid advertising, but I know some people, some businesses, of course, do, and it worked pretty well for them.
Thank you for sharing. Do anybody else have anything to add? Anything you would like to share?
I think the main focus of what we using paid advertisement, right, is to bring awareness only. So the main thing is since we are listing website, right? I think the best thing is how you can let user retain, because listing website, right, it usually goes like, oh, people come and see some reviews and bye-bye. So if your content is not interesting, right? How even though you paid how much of advertisement, it also how to say, not a good things to get traffic. The main thing is you need to make your website looks interesting, the content can retain user. Yeah. This is my conclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to have a plan if you're going to put money behind paid advertisement. If you do not have a plan on how to monetize the traffic, you're just throwing money away. And that's just the reality. You have to either be trying to sell them something or try to get them to take action on either getting you their email address or getting them on your social media groups, or you have to try to get something out of it. If you're just driving content for the sake of driving driving traffic, you're just going to throw away a lot of money with no return on investment. Anything else? Anybody else have anything to add? All right. All right, so going to social media marketing. These are the most popular. These are the most popular social media sites. I classify them by what I think they do best. So on the left side, you will have content distribution. Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Pinterest are great for that, whether that is video or written content. And then you have creative. So the 1 minute videos, stories that you're going to find on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. Snapchat is twice. Then you have the direct message marketing. That's where WhatsApp, Messenger, text message, and Telegram works really well. Then you have the community building sites where Facebook and Reddit works really well. With that being said, not all social media sites are going to be ideal for your use case. I will repeat that again. Not all social media sites are going to be good for you. You have to find where your target audience is hanging out at. If that's on Facebook, then you should spend most of your time on Facebook and probably not Reddit. If they're on Twitter, probably want to spend most of your time on Twitter and not on YouTube. With that being said, at least for starting out, it's probably good advice. as you continue growing, then you start looking at other audiences. But if you try to build your followers in all platforms at once, you're going to fail. We only have so much time to spend on social media before we're stretched out too thin. You want to become really good at one platform before you transition into others. Is that something that all of you would agree with?
I agree with that.
All right, cool.
And
With that
I
being
have a question. Is the objective to talk about marketing our directory service on behalf of acquiring more clients? Or is this about marketing on behalf of our clients?
my idea is to grow our platforms, to go or
Okay, that's what I thought. One of the comments I heard was about marketing on behalf of the client, but the objective for this conversation is about marketing to build your directory service business, to acquire more subscribers.
yeah, absolutely. Because as you grow your audience that visit your site,
Right.
those visitors will visit those listings
Absolutely.
as they keep coming in. With that being said, this is what I have seen the most. If you're into tech, probably Twitter is the platform for you. Twitter, Reddit, that's where tech people hang out. And Pinterest is more for the how to travel. People go there to get ideas for different things. So you're not going to find there like tech people and stuff. Or there are less tech people there. Then YouTube is probably more like people want to visualize tutorials or places that are trying to visit. So that's where you probably want to make your, oh, these are the top 10 sites to go in New York, or these are the top 10 restaurants. You want to probably make a video with pictures and explaining. That's probably a good strategy for YouTube. LinkedIn is more professional. So for travel, I believe it's a little bit more difficult to get into LinkedIn. But if you want to get into LinkedIn, you probably want to write blog posts there or something along the line. Do anybody have any different opinion for the content distribution portion?
No, but I don't know if you were going to talk about it, but I don't know in which category is Quora is entering, like Quora, like I don't use it, but I heard that's pretty good to, I would say, not secretly, but putting the advertising about our website, but subtly, yeah. So, yeah.
I would say
Just
Quora probably goes into content distribution / maybe community building if you're able to get users out of there. So for those of you that haven't heard of Quora, Quora is a platform in which people ask questions and users answer them. I would say Quora would be really good if you are able to find questions about, let's say that you're in a you own a travel directory for New York. People ask, what are the best places to go in New York? Probably want to give them the answer and provide a link to a blog post that you created for that. Probably that's one of the best ways to do it if you're trying to get into Quora. I honestly don't have enough time to go to Quora and answer questions, so I haven't done it much, but that's what I have seen people done and it have worked for them.
Hey, Jesus.
Yes.
So we've tried to take since we have such a micro segmented market in Cedar Creek Lake, we've tried to take a very simplistic approach to our competitive segmentation. We've basically targeted 3 competitors that we've gone after because people don't know who we are, but they know real well who our embedded competitors are. 2 of them are print media advertisers, Flair Print Media, Lakeway, print media. These are old line traditional, mail kind of print media where they are established price leaders and, they've gotten years of a free ride. And then there's one traditional cedarcreeklake.com. So those are our three main competitors. We don't go after and try to compete against Yelp or Google, or any of the big giants. Instead, we go after the three competitors, and then we can relate the price point and all the value add that we provide with Cedar Creek Lake Online, and it's a no-brainer for the advertiser. We get almost 100% conversion rate every time when we pitch our value proposition versus the competitor. All the bells and whistles that the Will City directory service feature, that are built into our capability that we deliver over above the competitors, every time we can convert almost 100% of the time.
That's a really good approach, as it's really hard to compete with Yelp and Google My Business and all the other giants in the industry. But if you're able to find a segment of businesses that advertise in local sites, that's an easier sell than trying to go after the giants in the industry. Now moving on to the creative part. Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok. This is more visual than anything else. Short videos work really well. And picture galleries work really well in the in the creative section. You have to find your target. If you're, I'm sorry, excuse me. Give me the word. I'm sorry, I think I'm getting sick. If you're looking into getting into any of these platforms, you have to be able to find your target audience. Most of the users in these platforms are going to be millennials and Generation Z, I believe it is, basically young people. You have to be able to create content that is engaging for them and is also relevant to their liking. Do anybody advertise on Snapchat, Instagram, or TikTok here?
I don't. That's what I was. Can you hear me there?
Yes.
Thanks. Sorry, I had a problem here. The other thing that I was that I wanted to say is that depending on your market or your country, it might be different. I noticed that in like Latin America, people don't go much with Twitter, for example, or they don't use Reddit, right? So that's one more thing to think about, because you have to see where your people, your target audience is, right? In my case, I noticed that Latin America, Facebook, it's more effective, for example, or WhatsApp.
No, absolutely. And that's a big thing. If your target market is not there, you should probably not be trying to advertise in there. It's a waste of time and resources.
Agreed.
So nobody advertised on any of those platforms then?
I used Instagram once in a while.
Okay.
I used Instagram and TikTok, but not for my directory business, but for my other businesses, I'll use TikTok and Instagram for them both.
For Desmily, I have
Instagram.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was stating I also use Instagram to approach my target audience, and I utilize my personal brand for organic growth towards my directory. I also wanted to add a comment to a statement someone made earlier in regards to competitive marketing. I know a great approach also is reviewing Facebook ads library and typing in your competition's name to see what type of ads they're running, just to see what type of content attracts their target audience. And that way you can either, duplicate and add your own twist, or also look at their copyright type text that makes it appealing for people to at least look at their ads that comes on their social media pages. Because of course, Facebook, you can run Facebook ads for it to you have to run your ads through Facebook for it to be on Instagram. So those kind of go hand in hand, which is why I wanted to discuss the book.
Yeah, absolutely. The best way to look at a Facebook page ad library is by going to the Facebook page. If you're on desktop, on the left side, towards the bottom of the left side menu, you will find the ad library there. You are able to see which ads they had run in the past or which ads are running right now. On there, you can see the engagement, what is working, what is not. So that way, it gives you a better idea of what probably you want to be working on. Donald, do you know why my presentation is not?
I saw your mouse moving just a second ago. I think Zoom has been having issues because I was on a meeting with a client yesterday and their screen sharing was not working that well either.
All right, give me 1 second.
We do have technical problems too. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you able to see the presentation now?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, moving on to direct message marketing, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, text message, and Telegram. I think the best way to go about this is building private chatbots. Chatbots allow you to market to your target audience, to users that subscribe to those chatbots. And in reality, those chatbots get a higher open rate than your email marketing. Most people don't want to see that red notification symbol there with a number. So most people are going to open it, whether or not they read it completely, who knows? But most people are going to open your messages that you send them when you compare it to email marketing. Not that email marketing is a bad thing, but this you will have a higher open rate. Have anybody built a chatbot for your directory business? No.
Are you talking about HubSpot, like on the website, or are you talking about something else? Like,
no, I'm talking more like ManyChat or Chatfuel. So I will give you an idea. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, if you can precise what is, I'm not sure to understand where you find that or where.
Okay. So I will give you an idea on something that I'm working on. For my directory for Puerto Rico, I'm working on a chatbot for WhatsApp. Basically, the way we work is a user will subscribe, so they can send a message to this phone number. They can subscribe there, and then they can order food from local restaurants. It syncs with Docan. So basically, once the user places the order, a notification is sent to the restaurant, and they're able to make the payment through WhatsApp. They're able to see updates about their orders, and they can go and pick up their order without even having to go to my website. But it connects with the website, so basically it knows, okay, so you're right now you're here based on where you are and all the businesses that are listed on my website, on Desmily website. These are the restaurants that are offering online ordering. and you can order from one of them. You can see the menu there and everything else. Just another channel for you to advertise, another feature for you to offer. It takes some work, but I believe it will be a great opportunity for me to get more businesses to sign up for my site. Do that give you a better idea of what it is?
Yeah, so basically it's a chat that people can see through their messenger or something like that. Like, where
Yes.
do they see that? Okay, messenger. Okay, I see.
So basically, they're just chatting with AI, with a robot that you have configured to do it. So basically, they can go and they can have a conversation with that robot and explain exactly what they want to do. And as long as the configuration is there, then they can execute what they want to do, whether that is finding a business nearby them, whether that is placing an order, or asking questions about your platform. They're able to talk with the robot, with the chatbot, basically. If some of you are interested in this, I can make a tutorial on how to do it, or we can make one of these meetups and I can show you exactly how to configure it, at least the basic configuration. And from there, you get an idea of like how to do it and where to go and stuff like that. Again, going back to what I was talking about at the beginning, once I set up the feedback software, I would be, you guys will be able to tell me exactly what you want me to work on. All right, the last part is community building. That's where Facebook and Reddit excel at. Reddit is more, again, for tech people, I would say. That's what I have found the most on there. Mostly young people. And then you have Facebook. Facebook is its own beast. So I have created a slide just for them. So most people ask me, what is the difference between a Facebook profile, a Facebook page, a Facebook group, and why should I use Facebook stories and live if I can just post there? So I figured that probably make it easier if I made it a slide about it. A Facebook profile is basically what you build when you first get into Facebook. Facebook profile is designed for you to share information, updates with family and friends. It's not really designed to get your clients to follow you there. It's mostly like to share pictures, videos, those updates. Oh, I went here, I went there. That's what a Facebook profile is for. With that being said, to do anything on Facebook, you need a Facebook profile. You cannot create a Facebook page with a Facebook profile. It's just not possible. Facebook profile is like your persona. So that's who you are on Facebook, and from there, who you are can allow you to build into other features. Now, Facebook pages is more like for businesses to share business updates, for them to share their offers or what's going on with their business, or to be able to do chatbots. You need a Facebook page for a chatbot. Basically, that's your business persona on Facebook. That's your storefront, let's put it that way. Then you got Facebook groups. Those are communities like the Weird City Guide and the Weird City Users group. Those are communities of like-minded people that talk about one specific topic or many topics. So those three are what creates the most confusion. Now, before we jump into going to talk about Facebook stories and live, I would tell you that I personally have a Facebook page for my businesses, and I personally have a Facebook group for my businesses. Here's the reason why. When people go on Facebook and they type the name of your business, you want them to be able to find a profile that is specifically for your business, where they can find all the updates, they can see exactly what you offer, and you just make it easier for them to follow you and get more updates in the future. And the Facebook group is where you gather people, you create a community around your business. You get people excited about what you do. You get people to talk about what you offer. That's where you are going to find those evangelists of your business that are going to go out there and talk to other people about it. Why? Because they believe in your brand. They, like my daughter like to say, they already drank the Kool-Aid. They are in love with your business. That's why I create a Facebook page and a Facebook group for my businesses. With that being said, do any of you have Facebook pages or Facebook groups for your business?
Yeah, that's definitely an important one to have a Facebook page. Having the likes on your Facebook page seems to be important. I know usually if I'm looking for like a reputable company, one of the things I'm going to look for is when did they last post on their Facebook or other social media platforms, but mainly Facebook because that's the one that everybody goes to. And then of course seeing how many likes that they have isn't as important for me because I know that good businesses could also have a few likes. Like personally for my business, I don't even think I have 200 likes on my business page, but that's not usually what I'm targeting. I'm usually using my Facebook to get the marketing out and showing my past projects, getting people to send business reviews on Facebook and things of that nature. So that's what I'm going to be using my Facebook page to do when it comes to my business.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
okay, so go ahead.
go ahead. You go ahead. Ladies first.
Okay, thank you. So I just shortly going to say that I have a Facebook page as well, and I think Facebook has made it easy for businesses to grow their business. Like to advertise is so easy, to pay some money and to promote either posts or the page. So it's easy to put some money and to promote a post, for example, and to have a lot of likes. And a good tip is that when people like a post, we can invite them to like our page. So that's a really huge I think like option that we have, like to grow our community through Facebook. I found that Instagram is very hard because we cannot advertise anymore to make people come to like the page anymore, to like the Instagram page. It used to be possible in the past, but they stopped it. So I think Facebook is a bit more easy, and but I don't have a Facebook group, and I find it hard to grow a Facebook group. But I just wanted to share that I have, the Facebook is easier.
If you don't mind me asking, what type of directory do you have?
Yeah, so it's a food directory. So it's some food directory works well with LinkedIn. I tried LinkedIn for 2 days and I personally don't like it. Maybe some people like it. My businesses are not there. So yeah.
So I will give you an idea. And please don't misunderstand when I say this, but I will tell you what. If I were you, I would look into your target market. So where are you from?
It's Canada. Canada.
Okay. So let's say that you're in Toronto, as an example. I will try to join groups based in Toronto. So let's say what's happening in Toronto or whatever. Try to be helpful to people. Probably some people are going to be asking, what are the best Italian restaurants in Toronto, or what are the best burger restaurants in Toronto? Try to be helpful to them. That way people start seeing your name, people start seeing your business, and people start seeing that you're helpful and that you are probably the go-to person to ask about where to go, what to do, where to eat. And that way you start creating fame within that group. As you continue growing, I would say that you probably want to start either inviting people to join you if they want to get more tips or ideas. Start inviting them to join your group. or you can start getting them into your email list, your chatbot list. But basically, that's probably the easiest way if you don't have a group already set up.
Okay, and how do you invite them? Because when you do that through Facebook groups, it's usually not permitted to do advertising like to other groups, so because they don't want to lose their yeah.
You have to be tactful. You have every group and every site is different. I will say that you should not do it at the beginning. You have to provide as much value as possible before you're standing your hangout to ask for something.
You need to provide engaging content. The engaging content will attract a greater audience, and the audience will share your content, and they will then want to basically find you and engage with your site.
So I would say that you can use a software like Jot URL, where whenever you share an article in the group, because it's helpful for the person that is asking the question, it does an overlay where it says, hey, if you enjoy my content, join my Facebook group, like a pop-up on your site. That is only for those people that are coming from that Facebook group. You see what I'm saying? Probably stuff like that is more subtle, that you're not just out there saying, hey, join my group just for the sake of joining your group. It's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, because Cedar Creek Lake Online is an outdoor recreation site. We publish a regular calendar of events around the local lake area. And now people come to rely on that calendar because it really, we basically, curate all of the different local events from many different sources, including Facebook. And as a result of that, over the last 18 months, we've now acquired about 2,500 followers on Cedar Creek Lake Online. And, basically it's all word of mouth. But they've come to depend on our calendar of events, and we make the content very engaging, and it just continues to grow that way. And then, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create audience reach for our subscribers, because that's what they're paying for. Our online directory service is, the subscribers are paying to basically be on our website. So what we're trying to do is to create an engagement with the Facebook subscriber base so that people will come to the engaged events calendar, but when they go to the calendar, they're hitting the website. And that's what we're trying to do, is to get them to come to the website, so they'll then take a look at all the different advertisers that are on the website.
Correct, I agree.
Do anybody else have anything else to add on how to grow your Facebook groups?
I would say that I don't have a group, but I'll join some groups, and that helps too. When you share a comment or stuff like that, people get interested in your stuff, whatever you're selling or promoting. They start asking you and stuff like that. So it's not bad to join groups, some other groups related to your directory or either your market, right?
So here's another idea that I have seen. It works at least on technology sites. I would imagine that it would work on a food directory. Giveaways. You create a giveaway in which you reward people for inviting other users to your Facebook group, or to visit your site, or to do certain other actions. And we will talk about those in a moment. But that's probably a good way to grow your Facebook group.
My wife has a Facebook group for her business. It's not necessarily a directory business. It's an online women's boutique, but she has a group for VIPs. of her business. So people who purchase a certain amount are able to be added to this group, which give them exclusive access to items first. And this doesn't have to be implemented just for like, clothing stores. It could be implemented for directories in a way to where you're giving them access to certain functionality of a listing directory, or maybe allowing them to have a special discount for being able to promote their ad on your site, or giving them first dibs on ad spots on your website, or any of those options that you have. So the group could just be maybe like a VIP members group, to where people see that it's for VIP members and they're intrigued on how they can get in there. So they'll reach out to you, say, hey, how can I be part of this group? And then once you let them know, then they can it's either hey, you have to be with us for a year, you have to be with us for 6 months, you got to spend this much money, you have to share our Facebook page this many times, or you have to comment, tag 3 friends on a Facebook post, whatever it is, whatever they have to do to get into the group. Then they have that exclusivity, and then they can continue to share your content through that method.
Here's an idea that I'm just thinking now. If you're in the food business, right? You probably want to partner with a few popular restaurants in the area. Probably a few businesses that are doing fairly well and people want to go to, and try to get gift certificates from them or gift cards. And then you can use those as rewards. So it's free advertising for them, and you get to grow your audience. I would say that's a win-win situation. And if they're popular restaurants, people will want to win those. You can use like bidder loops, where you have a dashboard where you make it competitive. So people will want to be at the top, and they will want to keep inviting people just to make sure that they win, because they're able to see in which position they are. So you can say, oh, between 1 and 5, they get Tim Horton. Is it the big brand in Canada? Okay. They're going to get a $50 gift card for Tim Horton, and then from 5 to 10, they're going to get a McDonald's, whatever local restaurant is popular. But basically, people will go great lengths to doing things just for basic rewards. You don't have to go over the top.
Yeah, I have to say that I was going to talk about it, but I did a contest and it works really, really well. Like that's the most working marketing thing that I've done is a contest basically. And I'd had like 100 comments in one post. I've never had that before. So I'm gonna try to implement it for like in order to win something, to subscribe to the website, or to give more money, like to give like $50 to somewhere or something like that. So I think it's one of the most because everyone wants free stuff. So I think it's working pretty well. It could work pretty well for any kind of business, I think. Yeah.
And if you implement a join my group to get additional entries or to get additional points, that's probably a good way to go about it. And that would probably be successful as well. So anybody else have anything to add here? All right, the last thing on the Facebook topic that I would like to talk about is Facebook stories and Facebook Live. The reason why I want to touch those 2 points is because right now they're getting the maximum amount of engagement. I also want to use that then an example for you to visualize something else. For those of you that don't know, Facebook stories is just like Instagram and Snapchat stories. They are video or photos that disappear in 24 hours. So they're there for 24 hours, people see them, and then they disappear. Facebook Live, basically you go live just like any other TV channel, and people are seeing what is happening right now. There's no editing, there's nothing. You just grab your camera, turn on your live, people see you. those two methods are receiving the highest amount of engagement right now. The reason why is because Facebook is pushing really hard to get them to the top. Basically, they want to get a bigger market share from other platforms. They're trying to steal users from other platforms, right? If you're able to figure out what the platform that you're using is pushing at any given time, you're going to be able to maximize the amount of audience reach for your post. Right now for Facebook, it's stories and live. Maybe in a few weeks, it will be something along the lines of Clubhouse, which they're building a clone on, which is a live audio platform. In reality, if you figure that out and you go along with it, you're going to be able to maximize the reach for your effort, because nobody wants to produce something that is only seen by 5 people. You want to be able to get as many people as possible to see your post and what you're working on. So something to consider. A little bit of research can go long ways in terms of reach on these big platforms. So at the end of the day, if you're not doing what they want you to do, creating content for the tool that they want you to create content for, and the only other way to get maximum amount of reach is paying for it, because they're businesses. They want your money. They are trying to build these secondary tools within their platform to get more money at the end of the day. So they build the engagement, they hook you into on the tool, and then they pull the engagement out, and now you have to pay if you want to get the same amount of engagement. But they keep building other tools. So what you have to do is figure out what they're building now, what they're trying to get people to move into, in order for you to not have to pay and get maximum engagement. Have any of you noticed that? No? Yes, no, maybe. I think might be.
Are you talking about the Facebook stories and specifically, like you're asking if someone has tried the Facebook stories and things like that?
No, well, yeah, but what I was asking more is like, have you noticed that your engagement goes down with time for what everybody uses, and engagement increase for new tools that they launch?
Oh yeah. My company is relatively new, so I can't really measure that for the moment for my part. So I can't tell.
So as an example, Facebook pages where like they had a really high reach before, and now when you post something on your pages, only probably 5 to 10% of the people that like your page are going to be able to see what you posted. That's just an example, but a real example. All right, we're going to move on into email marketing. I think most people are interested in this. Before I get into email marketing, I would like to know which tool do you use to do email marketing, if you do email marketing. What tool do you use, Eric?
Gmail.
That's not safe.
And I would talk about.
I knew you'd say that.
I would talk about something that I think you guys would like. But what about you, Marco?
I'm just right now I'm still working on my site, but I tried before MailChimp, which is I would say the most the better known company. I never tried the other ones, but MailChimp, that's the one.
What about you, Fabien?
Hi. I'm working with a local tool which is AC mailing, but it's a plugin which I added on my website.
Okay, yeah, I have heard about them.
So it's not, it's a bit different.
Yeah, it's a self-hosted tool.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we can use an external platform for SMTP for sending emails in order to do not use the server, but the creation, let's say, and the management of the list and the users and everything is on the website itself.
Okay.
Fluent CRM is also a self-hosted service. That's who I'm using on a lot of my sites and my clients' websites to do any email marketing, because it's very lightweight. You don't have to install it on like a separate subdomain or anything. You can install it on your own main website. And I use Amazon SES, simple email service, to send out the emails. I'll connect it to that. It's super cheap to use them. And then I'll connect it with the Fluent CRM on the back end, and then you build your emails using the Gutenberg page builder, which is built into WordPress. So that's what I use to send out all Will City Guide emails. So that's what I personally use for my websites. I used to use MailerLite, but it's just, it got to be too expensive. And I love the functionality of MailerLite. It's just, it got to be too expensive, plus a little slow to use on the as well. So yeah.
What about you, Joe? I'm sorry.
I was also using MailerLite until recently, but I changed to Zoho campaigns as I started building my CRM in Zoho, and so I used the integration between Zoho CRM and Zoho campaigns. So now I'm using Zoho campaigns for email marketing.
Sorry, Donald, did you say Musend?
No, he said MailerLite, and then he moved to Zoho campaigns.
Yeah, Zoho campaigns. Zoho campaigns is one of the tools of Zoho. Zoho, you write like ZOHO.
Okay.
What about you, Ken? I'm sorry. I'm assuming that's your first name. Yes.
I used to be using MailChimp, but I'm still looking for other solutions at the moment. Okay.
What about you, Sarah?
I only use MailChimp. I never tried anything else, so I don't know what's the difference between each of these. And so MailChimp, I don't know how to compare pricing either, but I'm pretty happy with it for the moment. I don't find it can include a lot of contacts. Like I think it's 500, only like 500 contacts or something, and then you have to, pay much more. Yeah, exactly. So I cannot compare it, but yeah.
Yeah, it all depends on how many contacts you want to add into your email newsletters, and also they charge on like a per email basis. So I know like the free one, you can have up to 2,000 contacts for that, and then you move up to like their $10 package, you get 50,000 contacts. So it all depends on how many you want, which is one of the reasons why I ditched, because I used to use MailChimp a long time ago and then switched to MailerLite. But Fluent CRM is self-hosted, and you can have as many contacts as you want, and you can send out as many emails as you want. And it's just, it seems like it's the better option for those who want to take more control over their email blast and their newsletters.
What is the name of the last one you said?
It's called Fluent CRM FL. I'll put it in a chat, but it's a WordPress plugin you just install on your site. It's got native WooCommerce integration, and you can also capture people when they register on your website. And then you can also run automations. So if somebody registers on your website, puts them in one list, and then if they check out on WooCommerce, then it will transfer them from that list to your customer list. So they're no longer just a user, they're an actual customer. And then you can always run automations based on if they purchased 2 products. So if they are a repeat customer, you can reach out to them. So there's a lot of integration with it for Fluent CRM.
And how do you compare it with HubSpot? Do you know HubSpot as well? Or
I haven't used HubSpot, but I know that HubSpot is much more than just an email newsletter. They've got a lot more that they're doing with that. So it's like comparing apples and oranges, HubSpot and MailerLite or Fluent CRM. Those are 2 completely separate types of products. I know like Zoho Campaign and HubSpot might be something that you can compare to each other, but I've never used either one of them. I've only used email marketing. I haven't really gone into the whole full CRM software yet. I haven't had a need for that yet.
All right. Eugene, would you like to share with us what do you use? Maybe not there. Sri? City Mark? Polly?
Hi guys, I'm 2 in my early stages, so I haven't reached that stage yet.
Okay. Thank you for your input. Hosni?
Same here. I didn't start yet with my email marketing, so I'm happy to discover the different tools available.
Okay. What about you, Asdrúbal? All right, he said hi. Cool. All right, so these are some of the options for email marketing tools. While they're really good at what they do, I will tell you that they can get really expensive, especially if you build your audience and your list with a higher number of contacts. I will give you a brief overview of what they're good at, and maybe that way it helps you kickstart your research. Active Campaign is great at under automations. In reality, I love Active Campaign. They're great at most of the stuff that they do, to be honest with you. I got a free 12-month trial, which I wrote an article about on my site on how to get it. It's through the segment.com program. If you decide to get it, then you're going to save about $1,200 for the first year, completely free. But they're really good at everything. I really like their software. MailChimp is great for their freemium program. So as Don said, 2,000 contacts, 10,000 emails sent per month, and that's a great way to kickstart your journey. Sendinblue, they're all in one. So from there, you can send text messages, you can manage your social media, you can do your email. They got unlimited contacts, but you can only send 300 emails per month on their free plan. MailerLite is known for their simplicity. It's super easy to use, drag and drop interface, and they're known for how easy it is for starters. ConvertKit, great for e-commerce. I'm sorry. ConvertKit is great for bloggers and basically people that are putting out their content. Moosend, they're really cheap. Their free plan is comparable to MailChimp, but then as you grow like up to 4,000 contacts, it's only like $8, but they are really inexpensive. I also wrote a review about Moosend on my site on Textify. So if you want to read it, you can go there. Drip is really good at e-commerce. So if you are planning on implementing Docan and running your WooCommerce, Drip is really good at the e-commerce integrations. Constant Contact is a great way to do your newsletter, if you want to have like a paid newsletter to provide premium content, that's a great way to do it. And get response, I honestly don't have much experience with them, so I cannot tell you. But what I can tell you is that I am writing a 5,000 word super in-depth article about comparison article about all of these tools that will give you a better idea of which one to choose for which scenario, and hopefully give you all the information that you need to make a decision. With that being said, I only use ActiveCampaign because it's free. So I use it for Desmily, so my Puerto Rico website. For Textify, I'm using, as Donald said, Fluent CRM. Super inexpensive, $129 per year. I got a lifetime deal when they first launched, but right now it's $125 every year. And you only pay, I believe it's $10 per every 100,000 emails sent, or something along the lines with Amazon SES.
Let me see. I know that if you host on an EC2 server, that they don't even charge you for the first 62,000 emails. But it says if you're on like Cloudways or something, it's 10 cents for every 1,000 emails. So probably around that.
Okay. So super inexpensive when compared to any other of the other platforms. So you're paying basically $10 per month, or the equivalent of $10 per month to get the license from Fluent CRM, $129 per year. And then on top of that, you're probably paying $1 or $2 to send the emails. To be honest with you, nothing will beat that. That's probably the cheapest way that you can send them. It's super safe. It's inside your WordPress configuration. You will have the same interface that you're using to build your website. I really like the idea. I love using the software, and I am a strong advocate for it because how easy it is and how cheap it is. If you're looking to do something more advanced, Sandy and Mautic are really good tools, but you need to be technical savvy because you have to install them in your own hosting installation. So Mautic will provide you with, I would say, 90% of the features that all the other tools and these other tools will give you. But you need to install it and maintain it yourself unless you want to pay for their software, which you're looking at $100+ per month. Sandy, same thing. You have to install it yourself and maintain it. Make sure that you stay up to date, or that the software stay up to date, security and everything else. So if you are into that, they're great tools. If not, Fluent CRM is probably the best thing that the best investment you can make in your email marketing. As I said at the beginning, I will be sending Donald in the next couple of days and weeks email templates that I use for newsletter, for call emails, and some other things that I'm working on. They will be posted in the Weir City Guide website. Basically, just make it relevant to you. With that being said, I would like to show you one of the emails, one of the code emails that I have used in the past. Keep in mind, please, that I'm not a designer, so. And it's in Spanish. Are you guys able to see it?
Yep.
All right, cool. So basically, what I'm doing here is I'm sending an email, a code email to a website owner. What I do is I scrape the data from Facebook pages, I upload it to my site, and then I email the business owner. I have changed this a little bit, so it will be a little bit different in the next few months. But basically, what I do is I highlight the advantages of the platform, some of the achievements of the platform. So like how many visitors are coming, what they're going to get out of it, and stuff like that. some of the bigger features that are the premium features that Vui City offers. So, hey, we got mobile apps. Our site is bilingual. We got 360 videos that you can upload to. You can integrate your Open Table and Instagram accounts and make it work as one. You can add your menus and stuff like that. Basically, hey, this is what's in it for you. So, and lastly, I tell them how to claim their business, and I provide them with instructions and a little bit more information on how they can take advantage of this opportunity. And I also give them a unique claim link for them to claim their business. I also created landing pages, which I will be sharing the template with you guys if you want to use it. But basically, this answers like why to use our platform, some of the features, data, and stuff like that. So that will be coming up in the next few weeks. Trying to finish. I'm doing a college class, a coding class, and pulling my hair. So once I finish that this week, I would be able to produce more content for you guys. But yeah, this is some of the things that I will be sharing with you guys in terms of email marketing and stuff like that. Do you guys think this is a good idea, waste of time?
I think it's brilliant.
It's definitely helpful. It's going to be something that you should do to target each individual category that you have on your directory to make it so that people land on a specific page that's dedicated to their business type, and sharing that with the group is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I also think this is a very good idea because one of the things is our users, we always need to explain everything in a very simple way if we want that they claim their business or they register their business or whatever. And so we need to make it as simple as possible for them. So this kind of instructions and this kind of step-by-step instructions, it's very, very good.
All right, cool. Do anybody want to add anything about email marketing?
Don't use Gmail.
Oh, that reminds me. Good. Yeah, good thing that you said that. So
okay,
I
just to finish in the chat, I inserted. Donald talked about Amazon Sesh. Amazon Sesh is great. I also used it in the past, and it works very well. A new alternative that I came across recently is Alibaba Cloud Direct Mail. I inserted the link on the chat. And it's similar to Amazon Sesh, and with this service, it's possible to integrate exactly in the same way as we do with Amazon Sesh. We can integrate it in Fluent CRM or whatever email service we have installed in our own server. So it's an alternative to Amazon Sesh. Amazon Sesh works great, but if you want to give it a try or compare features or compare prices, you have the link in the chat.
Thank you. Something I would like to ask you: who here uses branded custom email addresses? When I say branded, I mean, let's say Eugene.Darville at mysite.com rather than Gmail or AOL or MSN.com.
I do. I use it.
Yeah, I always use my brand. I never use Gmail for business.
Okay.
It's so inexpensive to do it now, even if you don't use Google G Suite or Google Workplace for email. Even you go into like Zoho email, it's like, what is it, like $1 or $3 per email address now?
It's free for 5 accounts.
There you go.
So I just wrote this blog post. I just published it today. But I will give you the idea. So a branded email account will be something along the lines of this. So it will be first name, last name, or whatever you want to use at your site url.com. Super easy to set up. All you have to do is add an MS route code onto your domain, set up your email account with your provider, and that's it. There are many ways that you can do it. You can do it using Workspace by Google, which is $6 per month. You can do Soho Mail, which is free for 5 accounts. You can do it through cPanel. I don't recommend it, but
definitely not.
That's a way to do it if you really don't. That's probably a last resort kind of thing. You can use Rackspace. It's at $1.99 per month. Or you can use, it's not here, but you can use MS Route. Where,
that one.
Yeah, it's super inexpensive. It's like $1 a month. You pay it like yearly. It's like $12 per year. Super inexpensive, and it's a no-brainer. The biggest reasons why you want to have a business account is because, number one, it's a great branding tactic. People see your email, they see your brand, it becomes more recognizable. And number two, people would take you seriously if you are sending it from your own custom domain. It looks professional. They know that they're working with a company rather than an individual that is pretending to be somebody that they may or may not be. But more importantly, going along the lines, trust. People don't trust emails that are coming from
at AOL.
Yep, at AOL or at Gmail.
At Verizon.net.
I'm pretty sure most of you have gotten emails from the prince of who knows which country that needs to transfer $8 million that is coming from at gmail.com or at yahoo.com. But if that would have come from a branded email, you would have probably taken a little bit more seriously. Not that I mean, if you have fell for it, I'm sorry for you. But if they put a little bit more effort into it, it would be a little bit more effective. I'm just saying. With that being said, it's your business. You probably want to portray that it's a professional business, that you take this seriously, that this is not an overnight fad that you're going to leave in a day or two, that you're there just to grab the money and leave. It gives you the opportunity to be in front of people, and people see your brand every time on their email. I mean, we get hundreds, probably thousands of emails per day in our inbox. Most of them, we delete them. I know that for sure. Nobody open every single email and read every single email. You want to improve your chances of people seeing your emails and opening them.
I have one question.
Yes.
As you were scrolling, I was reading your text, and why do you say, and Donald also agreed with that, and how do you say that cPanel is not an option or is not a reliable option for setting up an email account?
Well, me and my personal opinion, when you're using cPanel, you have to set up the SMTP and the IMAP.
Yeah.
And at least on my experience, I would say 60 or 70% of the time, you have to keep redoing it because it goes down, or if you haven't set up your, you won't have an email client, so you will have to go and use somebody else's email client. It's just a headache. To me, I hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah, with cPanel mail is extremely slow. Clients if they don't know how to add it to their own email client like Outlook, then they have to use that round cube email off of the webmail that GoDaddy offers. And then you gotta remember the URL to get into that email webmail. And then you have to log in every single time. And then from there, you have to use their interface, which is completely horrible to use. Not to mention that they're basically giving you these emails because you purchased a hosting with them, which you shouldn't purchase a hosting with them. And they're just giving you these emails because it's just something just to drag you in, and they're not putting any resources towards these email servers. It's all being ran off of one thing, and they're just extremely slow. They are not reliable for staying up. If the server goes down for whatever reason, then your email's going down. When was the last time that you heard Google's email servers going down? It's been several months since that's happened, as opposed to when was the last time your actual website server went down. So it's just all about reliability. They're giving it to you for free, but it's costing you more money in the end because you're not having emails. And then the people who send you emails while your email server is down, you're never getting those emails back. So you need to have the reliability that you have with Google or with Zoho. Or if you host your own email server, that's also an option. That's way too technical for me. I don't even figure that out. But you got to have reliability. You got to have ease of use. So if you can log into gmail.com, then you can log into your Google email, your Google Workspace email. It's as simple as that. So ease of use, reliability, and just being able to have it so that it's up and running on a constant basis. Cost is not a factor when it comes to emails. I mean, yeah, there's some cheaper options out there for the clients who don't want to spend the $6 a month. But as soon as I see what the current clients are using in their email server or for their emails, and then I show them what they could have, they'll pay the $6 per month per email address, no problem. So.
Okay. Well, I was just surprised because I've always used cPanel since cPanel exists.
Yep,
and and I never had any problems. So it's how I'm I was born inside cPanel, so.
Well, I used cPanel for quite some time with Bluehost, GoDaddy, and then I switched to SiteGround. Those are the 3 cPanels that I've used before, including their emails on the cPanels. And I eventually got rid of all that. I've got my own hosting now. I'm sticking with Google Workspace for my email. For my personal self, I use it. I think I pay $24 a month because I have 2 emails on the $12 per month plan. Which also a benefit of going with Google Workspace is I don't know if this is true because it was back before with the $12 per month plan with 1 email address, you get unlimited Google Drive space. It says you only get like a terabyte, but you really get unlimited space. And that's where I store all of my documents. I have 20 terabytes of information inside of my Google Drive right now for clients. I mean, I use it for personal use. I'll store my movies and TV shows there too. So that's also an added bonus. So for $12 a month, you can have unlimited cloud storage space. So you can get rid of Dropbox if you're using Dropbox or whatever other cloud storage you're using. And then you can also have a reliable email at the same time. So.
Okay.
Well, I'd like just to say two things. The first things about cPanel is that cPanel is just a system. I mean, issue is what do you have behind cPanel? If you have one single server, yes, you can be in trouble. But with the big companies, cPanel is just an interface. So there is no big deal to use mails on cPanel. because if they have plenty of servers behind, this will never go down. And another thing, if your mail server is going down, this is not a big issue as well, because the sender, which is sending you the email, keeps sending you emails. So this is not a big issue. Of course, if your mail server is down for 2 days, you will lose the email, yes. But if it's just a cut, service down for 1 hour or something like that, this is not a big issue, because the sender will keep the mail and will try to resend it various times. So this is not a big problem. But just another thing about the domain and Gmail, this is always better to use your own domain to send an email for deliverability issue. Because when you do some email marketing, you have to have a good configuration on your DNS with DKIM, with SPF and all that stuff. And this is always better to use your own domain than Gmail. So it's not only an issue of trust and all that stuff, it's as well a technical issue for deliverability.
Would anybody else like to share anything else? All right, cool. I know we all run directory sites, right? How many of you are actually putting out content, like writing blog posts and guides? Only two.
I write guides on the
I do.
guide site.
Oh, of course. Yeah. All right, so the cheapest way of, I say the cheapest, not the easiest, but the cheapest way to get traffic into your site is probably search engine optimization. Basically, that's when you write a blog post that is optimized for a keyword that you intend to rank for on a Google search. The biggest thing with search engine optimization is that, number one, you want to, the same keyword that you're trying to rank for, there might be dozens or hundreds of other sites that are trying to rank for the exact same keyword. Nobody really knows exactly what Google look for when they're ranking, but there are some suggestions out there. There are some people out there that suggest that they're looking to domain ranking, basically how many other sites link to your site. They're looking at how good your content is, whether or not you have images, videos, or any other kind of multimedia within your post, among other factors. In reality, I would say that every market is different. So if you're in the United States and you're writing English content, is more competitive than if you are in France writing French content, or if you're in India writing Hindi content. It really depends on your market, how hard it would be for you to be able to rank for a specific keyword or a specific phrase on a Google search. With that being said, the tools that I have found that help me a lot for when I'm planning for search engine optimization are SEMrush and Ahrefs for doing keyword research. Moz I hear is really good, so I added it to the list. Google Keyword Planner, Ubersuggest, Google Search Console, and SpyFu are free tools that you can use if you don't want to pay the $100 a month for SEMrush or Ahrefs, or however you say that. Now, the one that I would like to highlight among the free tools is Google Search Console. All of you should be trying to get access to your Google Search Console for your website. Here's the reason why. When you have access to your Google Search Console, you're going to be able to see you're I'm sorry. With access to Google Search Console, you're going to be able to see how people are coming to your website through search engine queries. I will open my Google Search Console for you to see how it looks like. All right, so I was trying to show you my other side. For some reason, it's not letting me. But basically here, you're going to be able to see the performance. My Textify site is fairly new, so there's not much here. But you're able to see, okay, so how many people have been clicking through on search engine traffic, right? How many pages are valid or how many pages have any kind of errors within your site. The part that I like the most for Google Search Console is this side where you're able to see how many people are clicking in comparison to the search queries that you're appearing in. Again, this is a fairly new site, so there's not much data here. But down here, you're able to see, okay, so 7 clicks came out of the keyword and the query is astronautics, and there were 60 impressions. So that's about 12, 13%, not that bad. Now, Moose and review, only 1 click out of 437 impressions. That's really bad. So probably I have to improve, well, I definitely have to improve that blog post in order to get a better share. Here you can see based on pages, which pages are getting the most clicks or impressions. The countries where your traffic is coming from. The devices. There's never data here, so I don't know what it is. And the days, so how many clicks you're getting per each and every day. So each one of you can get access to this. All you have to do is go through the verification process in order to be able to get access to it. But all of you should be doing this. You should know exactly where your content is coming from. Your traffic is coming from, which content is working, which content is not. That way you can focus your efforts on the content that is working and create similar content and probably rethink what is not working and improve it. Do any of you have any experience with Google Search Console?
Yep.
Are there any lessons that you have learned that you would?
I use it. I enable it on all my websites just so that I can submit the sitemap to Google. But honestly, I've never really dove into it. None of my clients honestly get enough traffic for me to do too much when it comes to doing anything in console. I'm gonna take a look at my I know I've gotten a couple who I've got a water park that gets super busy during the summertime, obviously. So I can see exactly what they're doing, when they're getting their hits, where they're getting them from. But to be honest, I really haven't been able to figure out much more inside of Google Console. So figuring out that would be a benefit for me, if that's something that I could work out. I always get emails saying that you've got this content that's wider than the screen, text too small to be clicked and stuff like that. I get those emails all the time.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So that's another thing. So they send you emails for any issues that your page have, which allows you to fix those issues to ensure that you're getting better ranking. You can also submit any new content here on the inspect bar, and so.
Well, I mean, it's an indicator that Uncle Google is going to continue to notice that, you know, things are breaking on your site, and over time you should be. It's a bellwether that's going to tell you that your ranking is going to start to go down. You know, from an analytics standpoint, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I tend to like the Google Analytics graph a little bit more than Google Search Console, because it gives me a broader spectrum of the audience and the traffic that's coming to my site versus Google Console, which is just, basically Google.
Right.
Yeah, they have different use cases. The Google Analytics is more to get more data about the traffic that is coming to your site, versus Search Console is more like to discover exactly what is working and what is not.
Yeah, I think it's Google Analytics seems to me to be a little more analytical than Google Console.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Also-
I love Google Analytics. I'll be in that thing all day long looking at everything.
So as I was saying, here you can submit pages to Google and request indexing. So basically, I pasted here on the link, and now I can request indexing, and they can send their bots to my site to take a look and try to index it probably sooner than other pages. Moving on, some other tools that I enjoy using are Google Trends. It allows me to see whether or not a topic is gaining popularity or losing popularity. Answer the public. It gives you popular questions that people are asking in a specific about a specific topic. BuzzSumo, it gives you popularity again about certain topics and helps you understand whether or not there are any there is engagement for those topics. Google Analytics and Mixpanel, they're great tools for analytic data, for you to understand where your traffic is coming from, which countries, what is your main driver for traffic, whether that is social media, direct visits, or if it is search engine traffic. With that being said, Mixpanel, they just released a free plan that is really generous, and they tend to provide more data than Google Analytics. I have to dive into the Mixpanel free plan to see what they offer. But I have a feeling that the amount of data that they will offer is comparable to their premium plans. It's just they will be limited on the amount of visits. They're trying to compete with Google Analytics, so I don't see them releasing anything short of being really good.
Yeah, I'm sorry about for cutting you, but I just have to specify that for Google Search Console, that really helps for to see how the website is ranked in Google, like how easy it is to find our website through the Google search, and it gives really like some tools to see on which keywords we can focus on to put in our blogs, for example. So it's completely different than Google Analytics that analyzes what type of visitors that come into our website. So it's something that is both can be useful, but in different ways.
Yeah.
Totally.
Thank you. Lastly, for content optimization, I use Market Muse and Phrase. Surfer SEO is also a great tool. The reason why I use them is because what they do is they go and they look and compare the top ranking keywords, see which keywords they're using, how many times they use them, and then you can paste your content, and it tells you, okay, so you probably want to add this many amount of keywords, where it's relevant, and it helps you optimize your content for that query that you want to rank for. So as an example, here is the article that I just published. So it gives you a content score and where you want to be at to increase your chances of ranking #1. Of course, you don't want to do keyword stuffing where you're just adding keywords, the keyword that you want to rank for just for the sake of adding it. So they take that into consideration. But basically, my content score is 35. The average for the top 20 is 17. And the target to get in the top 10 is 30. So I'm slightly above. So in a few months, we will see whether or not I get one of the top rankings there. The word count, again, I give you an idea. Okay, so my word count is 1221. The average is 1370. So I'm slightly below. The target to probably rank higher to improve my chances is 2,481. I get tired of writing, so I just went straight to the point with all the fluff that some people add. So, but it gives you an idea. It's super expensive to use, so probably not something that you want to use at the beginning. I got a lifetime deal for it. That's why I have it, but there's no way I would pay $200 or $300 that it costs per month.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Man.
But as you grow, something for you to consider. Surfer SEO is similar, and it only costs $49 per month. Really good software. It does similar things. It's just the market that their position. Market Muse is more for enterprise. Surfer SEO is more for the daily user. And the only one that I got lifetime deal was for Market Muse. So I went with Market Muse.
Yeah,
they're the market leader, so it was a no-brainer. With that being said, what before we go more into self SEO, what tools do you use for SEO? Do you do any kind of keyword research? Do you just get pen, paper, and write? What do you do? What is your workflow for it?
Don't. I just don't. I'm not. That's one of the things that I lack, and is doing all of that. So SEO is hard for me to do.
It's definitely hard. It's not easy. It's doable to learn it, but it takes time and a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you that write your own content, what do you do? How do you write it? What is your workflow?
Nobody writes content.
Okay, yeah, for myself, I write a few blogs, a few posts, I mean. I started to, not a lot, like just 5 posts, and my goal is to reach 100. And I'm pretty sure that it could be one way, but not the only way for people to find our website through Google. And I think it can be interesting for people to find easily our website through Google. So I've made a research of keywords, and I think that, I found those keywords through Google Search Console. So how did people find my website through Google Search? So, and I use these keywords and I multiply them in blog posts, and so to rank higher. So that's, and I put those same keywords in the images in the description title. And that's what I do for the moment, but it's for sure it's time consuming, and some people are paid to do that. So, and yeah, and I use Yoast. That's the only thing I do.
I use Google Search Console and a combination of Rank Math, as we talked about in another one of these sessions, and I have used Yoast, but as I mentioned previously, I like Rank Math.
No. I'm sorry, she saw the microphone. So. Oh, wait. Okay. No. I apologize. So here's my directory website for Puerto Rico. And this is using SEMrush. I will give you a brief overview of what I look for. As many of you know, I stopped putting too much effort into that site because of the pandemic and because some other issues. But the authority score is 15, really low at the beginning. Most sites will be 1 or 2. As you start getting backlinks, which I got 271, you start gaining more authority score. The higher authority of the page that is giving you a backlink, the higher your authority score goes, which is similar to domain ranking. Right? But the part that I would like to show you here, that I would like to focus on, is this. These are my top organic keywords, and the volume is really low. This means the amount of people that are searching for this specific query every month. This is the traffic percentage compared to 100% of the traffic for the site. But down here, you can see these are my main organic competitors. Changed since last time I look at it. But basically, you can see how you are competing with other sites, and you can see which keywords they're ranking for, and you can try to take the ranking by writing better content than they do. So basically, I made a list of all the keywords that all my main competitors rank for. I will show you. And I'm dividing the list into articles. So, okay, so this article is about this. So I need to rank for these keywords, or I need to include these keywords in order to give myself the better chance possible. Then I will be using a different tool to figure out, okay, so they're getting this amount of backlinks. They're they're getting they're getting this amount of traffic from it. The length of their articles is so many words. So basically, I will take all of the data and I will produce better content for my site to hopefully overtake their ranking. So as you can see, I'm dividing it. So this is the keyword research, and this is the amount of these are the keywords that I'm trying to rank for, and based on what they're ranking for. This is their volume and keyword difficulty, which means how hard it would be to rank for that keyword in a scale of 1 to 100, with 100 being the hardest. So of course, I would probably want to start with this one at the bottom, try to rank for that one, and move up as I improve my blog post. I've done this in the past, and it really worked for me for 2 articles when I first started. This was the technique that I started working on. Then after that, I started paying for writers to write my content. Then I started writing my own content, but I was focusing more on volume rather than quality. So I was writing as many articles as I could, 1,000 keywords, 1,000 to 1,500 keywords each. And now I'm focusing more on keyword cluster, basically trying to figure out exactly which keywords I need to focus on for each blog post, and trying to make sure that I'm ranking for those. Do anybody have any questions? And then here is where you see who are your competitors based on how many keywords you're ranking for compared to theirs. So the more common keywords, the higher the percentage, and basically those become your competitors. This is my main competitor in Puerto Rico. This is the main director in Puerto Rico. the second one here on the list. All right, any other questions? Oh, I mean, any questions?
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Which SEO content do you think is more important? I mean, do you think that blog content is more important than pages, for example, taxonomy, or because basically all of us, we do not do blog posts when we when we start a website. We need to optimize it first about category, taxonomies, and etc. And so do you think that we need to spend more time optimizing the pages and taxonomy and etc., or spending some times in blog post?
So here's my approach to it. While taxonomy isn't making sure that we're ranking for those is really important, I like writing blog posts because it's all about user intent, right? If you have a user looking for the best restaurants in New York City, what do you think Google is going to rank higher? A category page or a blog post that have more data, more information, and it gives the user exactly what they're looking for? Probably the blog post, right?
No, not necessary. If you optimized your keywords and title and other stuff in category, for example, if you get a food category and inside you get a pizza category, if you optimize your meta with Rank Math or Yoast or whatever, and you said, okay, the best pizzas in New York, and this is the name of your category, and inside you put in the descriptions. Here in my listing, we can find the best pizzas, etc. And inside the category, you've got all the pizzerias. Obviously, you will have a lot of content, so and quite optimized as well. So at the end, not sure that Google will consider that your category page is less important than blog post.
It is. So here's the way I look at it, right? When you search for something, let's say best pizza places in New York, right? Most of the time toward the top, you're going to find blog posts. Again, it depends on the country and the language. At least in English, you're going to find most of the time blog posts rather than a taxonomy page from TripAdvisor. Let's put it that way. When you find a lot of taxonomy pages, it's because they're not results from blog posts for that specific query. Trying to open this. So this is what I do. So I write the blog post and I add the widget for that specific for the listing. So these are the 5 best restaurants for a town in Puerto Rico. So at the house of the chef, a brief description of what it is about, and then towards the bottom you will find the widget for it. So I do the same thing for each one of them. It's a little bit easier for users to be like, oh, okay, so I like this place. The place look nice. Let me see more pictures. Let me get more information.
Okay, so we can do, for example, each month, kind of new blog post in the best 5 pizza in New York. And then you can pay the people in your listing to be on the blog post. So it's double money. It's good for your ranking and it's good for your money as well.
So you make people pay for what? Did you say? Sorry for.
No, I mean you can imagine that each month you do a new blog post with the 5 best pizza in New York. And then you send a mail to all the pizzerias in your listing saying, okay, hey guys, I will do a blog post. And if you want to be in the best 5 in my blog post, just pay a bit more, kind of sponsorship blog post.
So that might be a really good idea. With that being said, if the word get out that you're doing that, you're probably going to lose trust from your readers, because
you're going to really
maybe
you're going to disenfranchise a potential category, of the other, restaurants. And I guess, Jesus, if you could go back to that slide that you said was your biggest competitor in Puerto Rico, I have a really kind of a unique question, because since the purpose of this webinar today was to talk about how, you're going to market your directory service. And, you've got this #1 competitor, Sol.pr, right?
Yes.
So the question that I have is not so much how you're going to help your, your subscriber market their business. Ultimately, you got to do that. But what are you doing to beat your competitor so that you can then attract more subscriber business to your site so you can grow your business? I don't hear what you're doing to basically be competitive against Sol.pr so you can build your business and take them out.
Yeah, I explained that before. Basically, I'm writing better content than them. Basically, I'm trying to figure out
how's that gonna convert. You said at the beginning of this webinar, build your best widget and they will come, or something like that. I mean, you gotta figure out a way to execute in the marketplace to an advantage better than your competition. And I don't see how writing better content is going to attract enough business to take out your #1 competitor. So especially when you're really not generating any revenue right now.
I understand what you're saying. So this specific section is all about search engine optimization, right? The best way that you can gain rankings in SEO is by writing better content. If you don't offer something better than the position 1 through 10, there's no way that you're going to gain position 1 through 10, which is the first page.
I just don't see it. I don't see how better content is going to take away, if this is your #1 competitor and they're the established, big competitor on the block, I don't see how better content is going to take away that. I think you got to have a game changer. You got to have something unique that's going to come in, that's going to basically, disrupt the status quo.
You're looking at the big pictures. In the big picture, yeah, absolutely. You have to do something better, something bigger. Looking only at search engine optimization, only at SEO, you have to have better content, more backlinks, and a better domain rating in order to be able to attract that free traffic. You're looking at the big picture. We're talking about the specifics of search engine optimization. Sit down.
No, but yeah, you're right when you say that content on blog post is a key. I mean, SEO, if you want to be before your competitor, you need great content. For example, I have a customer in Barcelona who's doing some stag, right? And he was on the first results of Google's. And from a day to another, he goes down, and just because some lifestyle blog, etc., did a great post, and so pass before him. So basically, he's got a company who's organizing a lot of stag and events in Barcelona. So he should be the first in Google. because his website is very optimized, but he's not, well, right now he's first again, but he passed third just because of content of blog posts from lifestyle blogs. So it's a bit shitty, but that's right. This is quite sad game in Google that blog post can be first and before your activity, even if you're a great specialist and even if you've got great content in your listing, for example.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I saw actually even a website, it was a travel website, that one blog post was like 5-year old and is #1 in Google. So I think one great blog post can literally go before any other websites. And for myself, as per my experience, I wrote an article on the best restaurants for Valentine's Day. And I never had so much views because I shared it on Facebook, for example. So I'm convinced that blog posts can help. But I also, what Eric was saying about, I think it's another subject, but I also think that other ways to bring people to our website is offering something unique. For example, booking capacity, or if I take it, for example, Get Your Guide, which is a booking website, but also a listing website, a directory. So we can book tours through them. So things like that can distinguish us from other companies can also help. But as per SEO, yes. And I have a question for you, Jesus. What about, like I saw a lot of Will City websites that are listing just at the end of the homepage, they're listing best restaurants in New York, best restaurants in Los Angeles, best restaurants in, say, as a list. What do you think about that? Is it linked to schema markup? Because I don't know anything about schema markup, but is it the same thing? And what do you think about that?
I'm not. Would you please repeat the question again? I apologize.
Yes, I saw a lot of, I don't remember which website, but I went through some website of Will City, and I saw one, for example, that were listing just the lists. At the end of their homepage, you can see it's written best restaurants in New York, and then you see another line, best restaurants in blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Basically, in the homepage, it's just like a test with a link.
Yeah, it's just a list. It's just like a text. Like I think it's what I think it's a way of Google to find them easily, or something. It's just a list of best restaurants in New York. And when you click on the list, when you click on the link, it goes to the best restaurants in New York in their homepage. Basically, it's just, I think it's a way for Google to find, because you put the keywords, because you write it on your website.
Something along the lines of this, right?
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the web page, yeah. At the end of the homepage.
What happens is that so Google use what is called crawlers, right? Basically, it's a robot that goes through your website and trying to see exactly what you can list, right? If you have links from your what is it called? Your homepage, which is the page that will get the most amount of backlinks, linked to the other pages, the crawler is going to find those pages faster than any other page that doesn't have any link to it. Those are called orphan pages. If you have orphan pages, it means to Google that that page is not that important to you in your site. When you have links to pages from your homepage, it signals to Google that this is an important page that was worth it link to from your homepage. Now that's theory though. That's the theory of certain SEO experts in the field. But there are many sites like booking.com, what is it called? TripAdvisor and other sites that do that because of that theory.
Okay, thanks. And what's schema markup? I've had this question since such a long time. Like, word linked to SEO, the schema markup?
So schema markup is just the way schema. I don't know how to say it. It's just the way that Google is able to find it. It's like standard format for Google to find content on your site. That's just what it is. Like, you know, when you go to college and you write your papers in one format versus a different format.
Okay, can you show me one on your website visually?
So my schema markup is managed by Rank Math. Rank Math do it automatically for you. Where is Rank Math? Let me find it. I forgot what it was, but basically it's generated automatically by Grandmath. I'll tell you what, if you tag me on the group, I will send you a screenshot of how it looks like.
Okay.
Sorry, may I interrupt here and elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So this schema markup is a vocabulary, like a dictionary, that you can make use of to tell the robots, like, what is your web page about? Now, SEO is much about context, and the things that's been discussed here, I can understand that some of you have issues clarifying exactly what you need SEO for, and it's actually putting things in context, because you're speaking to robots and they can only rely on images and text. So an extra thing to help the robots understand a web page, except text and images, is a schema markup, like structured data. So you can add this in, for example, if you are running a directory site for restaurants, it would be appropriate to give each listing a restaurant schema. So you would tell the search engines, this specific web page is a restaurant. This is a food establishment. So when the robot visits your web page or your listing, it's going to see a lot of text about food. It's going to see something about menus, about cuisine, and it's going to understand that this is a food establishment. This will help it understand it much better, and it will help it rank it higher, because it's suddenly became more relevant to search queries such as find me a restaurant near me, or find me a restaurant in Montreal, or wherever you are in the world. That is what schema markup is used for typically. And Will City lacks a lot of the schema markup, but it does have some of it, and it can be added to it. So for example, if you're running hotel listings, you would add lodging business instead of local business, or you would add food establishment instead of local business. You can also add stuff like opening hours to it, price range, stuff like that. These are all just structured data that can help the robots understand and to clarify exactly what is this page about. That is one of the main differences between a blog post and a listing.
In addition to that, the schema markup allows you to get like the star rating. You know, when somebody leave a review, it marked as a review rather than as part of the post, and other details like that.
It does that too.
Okay, thanks.
That's good. Good to know.
Good.
Thank you.
So
You're very welcome.
Ragnar help you set it up. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that you probably would want to have in it, but it's a good starting point.
You know, you can only make, I mean, the problem with Will City here is that they've only added a few of these things into the schema. You can't add everything. You could go to Schema's official website. It's called schema.org. Let me see here. I can just type it in for you guys. I think it's called schema.org. Now go in there and browse a little bit about and type in some search words for your listings, may it be restaurants or whatever, and see what it comes up with. And then go to your schema settings under your listing settings and try to add in some of the things and replace the local business thing. And then go to this web page to check it out. So this is Google's structured data tool. Okay, so in here you can type in your web address of your listing, and it will come up and tell you exactly what can it see and what can't it see according to the schema markup that you have typed in. Now, right now I'm looking at one of my directory sites, which is a tourist site. I just ran a test here, and I can see that the result is that it is a lodging business, and there's a price range and some other things. So now I get an understanding of what can Google actually see here and what can it understand. And that's important for me in my SEO strategy. So you guys can try it out. Just if you do not make any changes, just take any one of your listings and put in the website address in this tool I just wrote in the chat and see what it will come up with. You will most likely see that Google is going to say that it is a local business, and that it's probably missing some aggregate rating because some of you may not have ratings on your listings. But you can look in the schema markup in Will City listing tools that you could, for example, remove the ratings or whatever. You can fool around with it, but it's quite useful to know these things and how to communicate with Google. And this is a vocabulary. This is a language that Google can understand. This is a way of talking to Google and telling Google, this is what my website is about. This is what the price range is on my website, of this page, this business I'm promoting here. And Will City needs to put some extra focus into adding all of this vocabulary, or at least the main categories, some more categories into the markup so that we can use the directory for a more versatile way of using it.
I've never used this before. This is really eye-opening.
So as
One
you can
question,
see,
yeah, just wanted to say that it's possible to add some markups if we would like to.
it is possible to some extent. Like I said, you can put in food establishment for restaurants. You can put in lodging businesses for hotels. But there are still many different, what should I say, categories of business types and etc. that you cannot add, and that's a big problem. There's also some other things. For example, if we're talking restaurants, sure, you can tell the schema that it is a food establishment, but another thing that's important is to know what kind of cuisine are they serving at this restaurant. And Will City does not allow you to add that. So, and if you go and browse through, I saw that Jesus is going through a test on the screen here. You can see that it's missing some things. those things are the things that Google are looking for. And that may be what kind of cuisine, what kind of price range, all these things it is looking for to tell the user that is searching on Google. But Will City does not allow us to enter these things in the schema markup. And that's a problem. It's a huge problem because then we cannot tell Google exactly what our web page is about. But the schema is quite interesting because that is one of the things that you can really do something about when it comes to on-page SEO. These are the things that we can control ourselves. We're not relying on backlinks, but we can control this. This is our content. And it has a lot to say.
I have one comment regarding those markups. I don't know, guys, if you had the same experience, but as you know, the reviews that we got for one listing are integrated in those markups. So Will City already integrated them, I think, into those markups. And when a listing doesn't have any reviews, I always get the error that the review is 0 and it's out of the range, which is supposed to be between 1 and 5 or 1 and 10, regarding which option you choose at the beginning. I don't know if you experience that kind of error or not.
Yes, but it's normal. I mean, it's just a warning, and so it's not really important. If you have an e-commerce website, you will have exactly the same message, just because when you put some products, Google is looking the same thing. If you get some reviews, obviously when you just upload some new products, you don't have your reviews. So, but it's just a warning, so it's not.
Okay. Important. Okay, it doesn't have a bad influence on the ranking in general.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. It's just a matter, again, schema is something you use for telling Google what your site is about, and you're telling Google that you have reviews, but it cannot find the reviews because you don't have one, okay? So either go into your listing tools and remove it from the markup, or just let it be. It's not going to affect your rankings.
I see. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
And does Google find the search pages? Because as someone asked a question in Will City users about the long URL with the ID into it, and he asked if there was a possibility of changing the ID for a category word or something more precise. So that's my question. Does Google find these search pages? The search page.
Didn't they? Didn't
Sorry?
they change the link to be like restaurants in the name of the city, or restaurants / name of the city, or directory type / name of the city, whatever? Didn't they change that? I'm not sure, but I'm just asking.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I know they mentioned that they were going to change it, but
hopefully.
No, I don't know if you can change everything, but what you can do is do some custom taxonomy in order to optimize a bit your SEO. For example, I do not do it on categories, but because it's too long. But on localization, yes, I will. I'm doing it actually. I created some custom page to in order to optimize the localizations. So you can do it via this way, because a search page, it's even if maybe Google can detect it, because when he will crawl your website, maybe he will detect it. But obviously this is quite shitty for SEO. So I guess that you will need to optimize and create custom page for taxonomy.
I guess you would do a taxonomy page for each city, for example, and things like that. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Now, Fabien, have you done it yet?
I'm building my website actually, so I'm creating it here. With Elementor, I made some page which will for each localization. I put some widgets in order to display the different shops, different restaurants, different all my taxonomy stuff, just in order to have a better SEO.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure at all that it will. I'm not sure at all that it will be efficient.
Yeah, I have created a few custom taxonomy pages. I understand the concept behind it. Don't get me wrong. I completely understand the concept behind it. I haven't had any success with it. Now, looking at this might be one of the reasons why, because of the whole structured data or whatever. Not that I invested a lot of time in it, but I didn't have much success with it. That's why that was at the beginning too. So that's why I moved into creating blog posts and creating as much content as possible.
Well, it's not taxonomy, it's localization. I made just one single page, which is automatically taking all the stuff from the different taxonomy and putting it into the localization page. So I just created one page at the end, and I set it up as a custom localization page in theme option, and nothing more.
Yeah, I would be interested in listening to any of you guys, your results in terms of custom taxonomy pages, because that's something I will do if it works. My experience is, well, for me at least, it didn't work. So that's why I just write blog posts and try to rank higher than everybody else.
Oh, one of the things that is difficult with the internal search page here is that it can very well bring you into an issue called duplicate content, because you have your category pages, which has an URL, a website address, and then you have the website address inside the internal search, which also contain your focus category name. And so Google will suddenly don't know exactly which one is where is the most relevant results found. So it's also important that you have a look at the thing called a canonical URL, because that's a way of telling Google where is my main category page, where do you find the listings that I want to promote. So you don't necessarily have to do blog posts about this. You just need to make sure that you tell the search engines where do they find the original content.
Any other questions? I thought I was muted for a second. All right, cool. So my last portion is word of mouth marketing. I believe that this can be the most effective form of marketing, just because if you really think about it, will you trust more me as the business owner telling you my website is great, these are all the features that I got, this is what it can do for you? Or would you trust your friend or family member telling you the exact same thing? Probably going to trust more your friend or family member, right? Same thing happened with customers. They're going to trust more what other people that they know tell them about a site or a platform, rather than what that company is telling them that they can do for them. With that being said, Sarah mentioned before contest. She had run some contests and they were successful for her. Sarah, would you mind sharing a little bit more details about it, if it's okay? Are you still here with us, Sarah? All right, I don't think she's here. With that being said, some of the best referral tools that I found that I have used in the past are Woolrise. They provide like landing pages, viral giveaways. They provide many opportunities for you to grow your audience or to get people to do certain tasks. Same thing with Viral Loops, Gleam, Up Viral, and Raffle Press. Oh, okay, she have to go. So that's probably one of the best ways that you can grow your audience by word of mouth marketing. Basically, what it does is you're going to incentivize people to do certain tasks, just like Donald said before. Also, with his wife's business, basically you want them to spend a certain amount of money, or you want them to invite people to your group, or to visit your site, or you want them to do any other thing that can be measurable online. And these tools are going to help you accomplish this. On the other side, you got affiliate marketing tools. And the best affiliate marketing tool for WordPress is Affiliate WP. Pretty sure Donald have plenty of experience with it, right?
Yep, I've done a few different sites that have integration with affiliate WordPress, and I've done quite an extensive of customization of styling and pulling in different aspects of the affiliate plugin, so that the front end users can see exactly how much they're making by referring people to that website.
So if you're setting up your token, that's probably a good way to make sure that you're increasing sales. People want to make money. So people will go great lengths for simple things, leave alone making money. With that being said, do anybody have anything to share in terms of word of mouth marketing? No, okay. So here's some ideas that I'm looking at implementing on my site. Something that I am thinking about doing that I think would be effective. Number one, I am building my audience, right? I'm trying to get as many followers as possible, just because it's attractive for other companies and influencers to do exchanges, right? My idea is I'm going to be reaching out to influencers for my specific geographical area in my market, and I'm going to ask them, hey, can you fill out this form, or can you give me like what are the best restaurants that you would recommend your mom to go to? What are the best places that you would recommend them to go to? I will be writing a blog post. Let's say the best places to go in Puerto Rico recommended by Kim Kardashian, as an example. That does two things. Number one, it gives credibility, because if they're influencers, they got many followers. People like to hear what are the places they like to go to eat, or to go and have a fun time, or whatever. That's number one. Number two, they're going to be, more than likely, they are going to want to tell the followers about it. So they're going to go back and they're going to post a link, hopefully in their social media, and they're going to be telling their follower about it. And that will earn you free traffic from them. So that's the first thing that I'm thinking about doing. Will it work? I don't know. But that's something that I'm looking at trying and implementing on my site. Maybe that's something that you can try as well. The second thing is I'm looking at, as I onboard more restaurants, I'm going to be making like a postcard to put it on a base, so standing with a QR code. Basically, when customers go to the restaurant, they can go and scan the QR code, see the menu on my site, which drive free traffics and bring more awareness to my platform. Again, something that you might want to consider if you're in the market. Um, what other ideas are you guys thinking about doing? What do you do different or outside the box to market your site?
One thing that's working for me is sponsors and partnership marketing. That seems to be an accelerator for me versus, sort of onesie twosie kind of thing.
Okay.
But sponsors in what way? Or what do they get in exchange?
Well, for example, we have in the real estate market, we're trying to get a lot of real estate agents to sign up for the pro plan for $10 a month. But the real estate agents all affiliate with mortgage bankers. These are people that sell mortgage loans to homeowners. So the mortgage banker, he buys a sponsorship on the site for, let's say, $500 a month. And he basically then sponsors all of the homes for sale. And then the connection to the homes is then provided to the real estate agents.
Yeah, very interesting.
So that accelerates revenue to my site for $500 a month, once a month. That's a nice kick from the sponsor. And the benefit to the real estate agent is they can then host their properties for sale at the expense for the mortgage banker. So
Yeah.
it's a win-win for everybody. The real estate agent gets a win because they get the sponsorship for hosting their real estate properties. The mortgage banker gets a win because he's now best friends with the real estate agent.
Yeah.
And the consumer gets a win because they can go to my site and they can look at all the different properties for sale on the site. So it's an I was talking about ways to disrupt the marketplace versus your competition. This way you don't have to go onesie twosie and hope that somebody is going to stumble across your site or take advantage of, some marketing thing. This is a disruptive strategy that is more of a push play versus, a marketing strategy that relies on automation in order to inject the customer to do something. It's also a nice word of mouth play because it's got people engaged with your story, and you're not relying on automation to basically, enact people to do something, to take some kind of action.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
And it's got a nice revenue kicker on top of it.
Yeah.
Do anybody else do anything unique, different, or anything that is working for you? And anything you have seen working for others?
I've got another strategy. It's a little bit similar, but a little bit different. There's in the U.S. there's what's called vacation by owner. These people that own properties and they rent them out to people that want to stay like a weekend vacation. And there's a company that manages all of these properties. They have dozens of these properties. So this way I go to one place. Instead of individual property owners, I can go to one place, and then they basically take care of all of the properties. And then I just basically collect all of the revenue from one place times the number of properties that they have under their management. So again, it's an accelerator for me instead of going to onesie twosie, you know, $19.95 a month, it's $100+ per month times the number of properties. So it's a nice accelerator, and it's ways to, you know, it's a disruptive approach to the market. In our place, you know, I've got competition that's embedded into the marketplace, and you know, we're trying to do things that cause people to behave differently. And it, you know, we tried the old approach of, you know, trying to convert customers based on just a content play, and we couldn't get them to change their behavior based on just generating content. So this is a way to break break open the door, if you will. And it's been, you know, it's had some good results. It's not been perfect, but you know, we've got revenue coming in, so it's been working. So it's sort of a hybrid approach. It's kind of a combination of both.
Anybody else? All right. Well, this concludes the presentation. I really appreciate all of you taking almost 3 hours of your time and sharing those hours with us. It really means a lot to me that you're here every month, most of you. Next month, I won't be with you guys. I have a prior professional. I won't be around because of work, basically. But Donald will be running the meetup. That haven't changed, right, Donald? Okay, cool. So he will be the one that will be reaching out, trying to figure out what the topic will be, and that will be up to him how he does it. But I will be back with you guys in May. I would probably do a class or something in between if you guys are interested in something, probably about setting up Gitbooks for the knowledge base, which is a free software that you can use to set up a knowledge base. If you guys are interested, I will post a poll probably next week about it in the group and see if anybody's interested about it. Otherwise, before we go, I would like to ask, can you guys provide me feedback, what we can do better, what I did wrong, what I did right? I would really appreciate that as I'm trying to improve these groups, make it more worthwhile for you guys, so it's not just a waste of time.
One more thing I want to add on for the SEO. One more thing can improve the blog ranking, right? It's true. You need to avoid like that end, because sometimes, right, when we do some landing page, right, we don't have any internal link which will redirect to the URL of landing page. So make sure that in our blog blog post, right, we have more internal links that maybe, let's say if you want to boost like how to say, like something you want to make the let's say email. You have to have few posts, right, which talk about email, and then each of them keep redirect your post which is related, because it helps Google to spread more your web content. This one I want to add on. Sorry,
yeah, well, what I hear you say is that you want to interlink different content, so Google goes.
Yeah, more internal links. I would say.
Yep. Absolutely, that's really important. I get what you're saying.
And one more thing, right? Don't know you guys notice because every time when I search like top 10 restaurants in my location, right, TripAdvisor always will be the first result. And then the result, right, is they only return the search page of TripAdvisor, and then most of it is about restaurant. So I'm not sure how we can did this in WordPress and in ViewCity, because the strategy we're using is like we write a post page, talk about top 10 restaurants in our location, but TripAdvisor is did another way. The search result will be return the search page which about the restaurant in our location. Yeah, it's quite dynamic. I'm not sure how to do it. Isn't anyone know how to do this?
Yeah, that's what we were told. I don't think cities have that functionality available yet. Yeah, that's something that the Vui City team will have to develop in order for it to be available. I don't think it's available yet. I might be wrong, but I don't think that's something that the Vui City team can do at this moment. Well, again, I really appreciate you guys spending your time with me here today. I hope you learned a lot just like y'all did. Hope you have a great day. Best of luck. And I will see you guys in 2 months.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We see you in the group. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.